Hello, Leo, and welcome to your November forecast. It's really great to see everybody again, and I'd like to start off with a note of gratitude for all of the love, support, and also patience that you've been showing this month. I know you've been waiting for these videos, so thank you for allowing me time to heal. I'm feeling much better in mind, body, and spirit. Just a reminder that you can always use these videos for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. If for some reason you don't know all three, then just go ahead and stick with your birth sign, and that'll give you the information that you need. Additionally, if you like what you see here and you would like to give back in a small way, as little as $1, you can do that by either joining me on Patreon and making that a recurring donation, which really, by the way, does make a big difference. It allows me to buy supplies and set up the time to do these. Or you can just do a one-time donation on my website. I'll put some information right along the bottom of the screen here, as well as beneath the video. It'll be that second link. The other links are a way to kind of connect with me across media and also schedule an appointment if that's something you'd like to do. So thanks in advance, and let's go ahead and get into your forecast this month. As you know, I like to get started with channeled information. I arrive at that by selecting a deck of cards and then meditating on your sign to see what's coming through. When I did that for your sign, I had an image of you pausing and sort of taking in the sights and sounds, specifically sort of like savoring some sort of wonderful dish. And what I was getting from this was that this month it's really important first to make time for yourself. I know that's kind of a weird connection with this, but what I was getting with this was kind of like taking time to stop and smell the flowers, or to drink in life, or to enjoy and savor the moment. There was something about engaging with the senses that really showed me that it's important for you to slow down and become sort of cognizant of what's going on, to really drink in the moment. And this is because for some of you, there may be a really great opportunity on the horizon. And by slowing down a little bit, you'll be able to pick up on what's going on around you. Because sometimes we have blinders on. We're so focused on the task at hand or the goal that we're trying to accomplish, or sometimes by our own internal dialogue, that we forget to just kind of look around and enjoy where we're at the moment. And it can be hard because sometimes, we wish that we were somewhere else. We want something else to be happening. But have you ever noticed, sort of with nostalgia, that we're looking back on periods where we were super busy and we didn't realize that it was as good as it was? So what I want you to do this month is to take some time and be grateful for some of the wonderful things going on in your life, even some of the challenges, but also take time to just enjoy life. So that means you might want to make time for things that you like. Maybe that's a guilty pleasure, watching a movie on TV that you haven't seen for a while, or spending time with your dog. My dog's sleeping as we're doing this reading right now, or making time to hang out with a friend. Whatever's sort of you time that you haven't had a chance to do, make time for that this month, because it'll give you perspective without having to kind of wait 10 years to think, wow, my life is actually okay, or I'm appreciative for this, or here's an opportunity that I want to take more advantage of right now than I've been allowing myself to. Okay? So make time for yourself, savor what's worth savoring, and also gain some perspective before the time passes. Let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional insights they have to yield for this month. At this point, I like to remain quiet while I'm shuffling and laying out the Celtic Cross, but as soon as it's all here on the table, we'll look at card by card and really take apart each piece of the month so you know what's ahead of you. So let me turn the camera down, give these a shuffle, and I'll be right back after I lay out the Celtic Cross. In addition to everything that's in front of us, I like to use another card that I call a catalyst. It helps us connect with any of the higher frequency information that wants to come through. So your catalyst this month is a card that indicates that you have a chance to rewrite or rethink things. It came through in the reverse state, but if we look at it upright, it says Book, Knowledge, Destiny here, or the Book of Destiny. But what I see when I look at this really is revise, rewrite, rethink. And so this month, as you're looking across all experiences and all opportunities, use those 3 R's and think, what can I do differently this month? And that's going to be where your power exists. We can't always control certain things that have happened or that are happening right now, but what we can control is what we do about them, how we react to them. And so we either use them as opportunities, or we can kind of stress out or create a self-fulfilling prophecy saying, this always happens. The truth of the matter is you can change those sort of cycles in your life, and that's what this month is providing for you. So let's take a look at the center energy here. Your central card is 9 of Wands. This will be a busy month for many of you. You're more than capable of handling it, but sometimes with the 9 of Wands, there's this sense of impatience or really an internal readiness to already skip to the end. It's like if in our lives we could hit fast forward, we would. This is where the channeled information comes in. You've worked so hard to get where you are, many of you, that you might be not necessarily taking in all the sights and sounds or appreciating the progress, because this isn't always a fun card. We don't see it with this illustration, but usually with the 9 of Wands, there's a sense of having sort of been through a difficult time to kind of like climbing your way up to the top. You'll see like a bandage on many of the illustrations on the forehead of someone, which means that you know, some people have things that come easily. This is a month where you can kind of look back on your past and realize, I worked hard to get where I'm at. So one, a little bit of acknowledgement of that, and two, some good news, because we have the 10 of Wands right on top of that, which shows for many of you, completion may happen this month of a process that you've been on, and it could be a long journey that you've been kind of taking. For some of you, there might be a need to start to plan for the next phase, which is a move or is taking on even more responsibility. So whatever the next step is, one thing that you can do right now is realize, okay, I'm ready for something more, but maybe it's kind of nice to be at a point where I can handle everything and it's easier. And because once you step up to the next tier, there's a lot more work that's involved with that. And so that's exciting. Growth always is, but growth is also work. So part of this month is a little bit of a mini plateau for some of you. Don't panic, enjoy it, and know that with that 10 of Wands right on top of it, this is something you could be seeing within a month or two, a big shift and a big opportunity to take on more. As I look at your deep past, I would like to just simply acknowledge that this month it's okay to worry more about yourself. With the Strength card, there is often a thread of sort of trying to manage, either manage up or wrangle in people around you, and through your own sometimes maternal energy and just need to bring order, even impatience, you are sometimes taking on more than you need to. And doing other people's work because you know you can do it better, or you feel that if you just get this done, you can focus on the next thing. The reason I'm mentioning this, we have two cards that show a little bit of a burden here, the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. Particularly if you look close, the 10 of Wands is about the load that you are carrying, either a physical load, a mental, or some sort of a spiritual sort of energy that you're carrying. The Strength card is usually showing your relationship with others, and sometimes your domination or your oversight. And so what you want to do is loosen the reins this month. Just sometimes in the thoughts thinking, you know what? I'm going to focus on this. They can grow to figure out how to do this, or they can kind of meet the challenge of the opportunities in front of them. By doing that, it's actually both a credit to yourself and to others around you. Because when you start to trust, empower, and enable them to grow and to be the people that they need to be, then you are able to focus on yourself and grow as well. So sometimes by trying to help people, and again, you might see this in either your parents, or if you're a parent, or if you're a manager, these are situations where you see that person in control or in power trying to help and to do more than is necessary. So release the reins this month, focus on yourself. That's going to help with what I'm perceiving here at the beginning of the month, which is the 9 of Swords, which is problems with stress management, sleep management, sometimes overthinking things and worrying about stuff that you don't need to. So by cutting out other people's energy and really focusing instead on your goals, dreams, and ambitions, you're going to be able to reset things and clear the slate a little bit. This is also going to help with your own physical and mental health. It's going to help with your quality of sleeping, with your thought process. And for many of you, this can be exactly what you need to release any sort of fears, doubts, uncertainty, or even sadness that you might be feeling. This is your crowning card, Prince of Cups reversed. So with that in mind, it's really important for you to, whenever I see an ace or a prince or really any court card and it's reversed like that, I want you to pay attention to how much other people are asking for from you. This could be a water sign in your life, but it could also just be a symbol of how much you're really putting into relationships and how much you're getting back. Right now, I'm seeing a little bit of an imbalance, especially on the emotional side. So if you're constantly the one that is nurturing, or if you're constantly the one that is picking up the phone and taking the first step to make things happen, give people a chance this month to reciprocate. See how long it takes, see what happens. It's not about keeping track, it's just sort of about allowing other people to even communicate how much frequency they want. Because if we don't sort of let the ebb and flow happen, we won't really be able to anticipate, again, what's wanted from the other side as well, or what's desired. Once you do this, as we look now at the midpoint of the month, I feel like we have temperance here, that you're going to get to a point where you're feeling better. You're getting back to your old sort of rhythm of feeling good, having energy. It's going to be very good for your vitality. I like this particular temperance card because it also shows the power that you have to create something new with all this energy we've been talking about conserving and sort of reallocating this month. So start to invest in yourself and see what comes of that. But really just having this sense of evening out the scales, filling up your emotional cup, so to speak, basically by making sure that you're not overreaching or over-managing or trying to give too much to someone else. That's going to help quite a bit. The reason I mention all of this as we look at your ego is there's a lot of work for you to do this month. Both work at your place of employment. For some of you, if that are going to school, this might be about just making sure that you're really absorbing everything that's coming your way. And if you're retired, this card can also be about a busy social calendar. Whatever is going on, you need to just be able to be fully present and also make sure that you don't miss something, or even for some of you, make a mistake, because with the Five of Wands, we can be so busy that that's when, there's an inadvertent mistake that might happen in your writing, or you might miss something that someone said, or a commitment might slip. So you really want to be able to fully invest in that. And again, as we look at emotions this month, this is where the challenge is going to be. In your environment, we have Five of Cups. The card is reversed. This is showing you that there's either a chance for you to mourn a loss and really figure out what your next steps are, or to celebrate that you're just getting through something that's difficult and now really try to shift the energy into endeavors and to things that you really want to celebrate in your life. So there's a little bit of an emotional turning point for your sign this month. I think you're going to be able to overcome it because as I look in the opportunity space, we have the King of Pentacles. Now with this card being in the upright position, that's really good because when we connect it to the emotions, this is about a grounding because this is an earth sign. So I do feel like you're going to be able to practically sort of weigh out everything that's going on in your life at the moment and take it all in. And that's really what I was talking about earlier. This is a card of receiving, even though it's not reversed. This is, with the upright version, this is about receiving favorable news, favorable information about finances, and again, just getting grounded in your emotions and your purpose for the month. Your outcome card this month is reminding you that it's time to break cycles in your life with respect to people that either try to push your buttons and get you to argue or put you in situations that aren't necessarily good for you. It could be causing mental pain, physical pain, or just causing you to kind of get upset. Whatever is going on with respect to someone or something in your life that is triggering these reactions, this month is a month to break the chain. And that's what I see with the Ten of Swords in reverse, is to end a painful cycle or addiction or chronic sort of happening, and free yourself to be this healthy version of you that I'm seeing in the deep past, and something that you have innately already as a part of yourself. Don't let someone take you off that path. So Ten of Swords can indicate an argument. So if there are any sort of disputes or difficult conversations going on around you, tread lightly, and don't be afraid to engage with a lawyer or an advisor if appropriate. And again, if it's just something in family, try to just avoid the telephone call or the email, or if you have to talk about it, stay in this even energy that we're seeing with Temperance. You can listen and acknowledge what people are saying, and then simply say that you need some time to think about it or something like that. With respect to your body, take care of yourself. Really, this is a month where you want to continue any sort of positive strides that you've been making, and if you've been lax in that, to get back on the bandwagon, whatever that bandwagon may be, whether it's working out, eating better, or cutting out toxic substances from your life. Finally, as I'm looking at this card, I really want you to pay attention to posture. And for those of you that might be experiencing any sort of pain, it usually goes from the top of the neck to the tailbone. This is what the Ten of Swords is kind of ruling. So if there's anything that you're doing with how you're holding yourself, or maybe there's sort of an existing injury or some sort of inflammation, you really want to get that taken care of. Just as some preventative measures, what you can look at is replacing the pillows on your bed, replacing the mattress if it's been a long time, and if you're seated in a certain position at work, making sure the ergonomics make sense for your body and the tasks that you are doing all day long. So really pay attention to that. This looks like it's an avoidable situation, so hopefully this information can help you with that. Let's now expand the forecast, and we'll take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I like to begin with health, which is a card that looks at your mind, body, and spirit. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what the overall message is for health. We just touched upon a few, but let's see if there's something additional that we can explore here. So we have awaiting results. So here's the two things that I see with this. For some of you, this is showing that what we just talked about, you can affect the outcome. There's a waiting period before what we see here with the Ten of Swords. The other thing is patience. If you're looking to change something in your life, perhaps it is, talked about detoxification, so maybe deciding to quit smoking, quit drinking, or some other sort of substance abuse. It takes time, and you have to be patient with yourself and celebrate each day of the sobriety. If you're looking to get in shape, you're not going to lose all the weight at once. You're going to notice subtle changes in the way that you feel, your energy, how you're starting to just kind of repair your body. All of this will take time. So number one message here is keep working on the path that you're on, and have faith, have patience, and be diligent. That's it. That's all you have to do. So if you allow for that to happen, you're going to see some changes happening over the course of the next 2 months, but for some of you, it might actually take a while before you feel the positive effects that you're expecting, but that doesn't mean that you're not succeeding. Let's look now at your wealth card and see what's coming through for opportunities or also for money this month. But for me, it's really about the opportunities and the feeling of worth that this card really has a benefit. Little Apollo is saying hello to everybody there. All right, so for your wealth card this month, we have the Spirit Whisperer. It says divine guidance, higher learning. Pull this card closer. And what this has to do with is really making sure that you don't second guess yourself. And I don't know about you, but there's been situations in my life where the minute I step in the door, I have a feeling for, if it's a job, am I going to stay here? Is this a good job? Or if it's a relationship, especially we're looking at money, this could be sort of like a partnership, or if you want to borrow money from a friend or family member or a colleague, you know right at the onset if it's the right thing to do. And when you second guess that divine knowledge, where it either comes through as a gut feeling, a quick flash of intuition, some of us might even hear things when we meet people, whatever your intuition kind of uses as a conduit to talk to you, honor that this month and realize that it's better to take that information when it happens than to 3 months down the line, 3 years down the line, or 3 decades later to figure out, wow, I really should have listened to myself. So this month, your first intuition with respect to money is the most important, or with respect to wealth. As I'm looking at this card, I'm paying attention to the owl in the background. That was the first thing that I saw. So this, to me, I think of Athena, I think of knowledge, and then I went to research. What I really want you to focus on this month is doing your homework. So if you get that initial, I don't know, feeling, then start to Google things, do some research at the library, or get some word of mouth, and see what's going on about, whatever your decision is with respect to finances, because this is going to vet out your intuition, and probably more likely than not, you're going to understand, oh, thank God I looked at this, and you're going to be in a much better path. So listen, research, and act after you've honored your intuition and hopefully the tangible data that backs it up. Let's go ahead now and take a look at love. Love is all about relationships across your life and how you're communicating, how you're exchanging that currency of love. It's not just about your romantic relationships, it's your friendships, your family relationships, coworkers, etc. So let's just see what the overarching message is for love. And we have mediumship, which again is tuning into your existing intuition. Interesting that a lot of your expanded forecast cards are reversed. Your regular spread was basically upright except for a couple. So when I'm looking at love relationships this month, be in a place of receiving the information, and also letting people give back to you. And that's been your overarching message this month. Because a mediumship card for me is all about being a channel, being able to open up and to receive. So when I'm looking at that in the context of your relationships, I also want you to be able to be open, to express parts of your life with someone else, and your emotions, your hopes, your fears, your doubts, and to also be able to receive and see what other people's are. Likewise, your intuition seems like it's lighting up this month. So with respect to your relationships, really honor what you feel, even if you can't quantify that with trying to make sense of it in your mind. We sometimes just have an inner knowing when it comes to things, and it looks like in your money this month, you're going to understand what's important, and you'll back it up with research. With relationships this month, receive, listen, do more listening and more tuning in than talking, and I think that's really the message here with mediumship, because it's all about receiving. So let's go ahead now and take a look at your destiny card. And I'm reminding myself of the catalyst earlier. So let's see if there's an additional message to unpack with respect to where you're headed, and perhaps how to revise or to rethink that. Give it one more shuffle. So your destiny card this month says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. If I were to associate this with a tarot card, it would probably be the Queen of Swords, I would say reversed, which is just to be really truthful and direct with yourself. And sometimes that's hard, but when we're talking to ourselves, it's important to sometimes just be constructive and critical at the same time. And I think this month that the areas of opportunity for you, we talked about it earlier, but it's not overreaching when it comes to trying to control or manage other people. It's about honoring your own sort of things that you need to work on. And when I'm looking at that Ten of Swords, it's stepping back, not arguing, not needing to prove yourself. When I'm looking at this King of Pentacles card, it shows that you can simply know that you're right without having to say it, prove it, or change other people's actions around you. And I think that's the power this month is knowing and allowing for everybody to be on their own path. And as long as you're honoring yours and doing what you need to do, then you're great. If not, this month you have a chance to really have a reality check with yourself and reset, hit that reset button, and allow for things to get onto a better path for you. Let's go ahead and review everything that we talked about and hopefully bring this into as concise a package as I can for you for this month. Your channeled information this month was to savor, to take time to enjoy, and also take in or drink in what's going on in your life. This can sometimes be a pleasant or an uncomfortable situation, but either way, you're going to have this ability to synthesize and understand what the next step is before rushing to it. And for some of us, we can also just appreciate and live more in the moment rather than nostalgically looking back and thinking, that was actually quite good. So enjoy what's great about right now, and if there's something that you want to change, this is really what we were seeing with that Destiny card. You're going to have time to analyze it and to check in with all the great intuition that's coming through this month and do a course correction. Let's go ahead and turn the camera down, and I'll talk about all of the cards that are in front of us. As I was looking at your catalyst, a chance for you to revise, to rewrite, or to rethink your course of action. Yes, certain things are set up for us, but it's our reaction to those predestined or preordained milestones that really allow us to shape our life. Your central card was reminding you that you're close to the next step. We have both the 9 and the 10 of Wands back to back, but it's important for you to finish up where you're at right now, whatever the lessons are, whatever you need to integrate before stepping into something bigger. Just trust that it's coming, know that you can handle it, but there is a sort of reality check here because we have 9 and 10 of Wands and then a 10 of Swords here. And then when we look at sort of what's affecting and leading us towards this, we have Strength and 9 of Swords. So there's a lot of progression and triggers this month, 9 and 10, 9 and 10. So the 9 and 10 at the center are saying, be patient. What you're looking for is happening and will happen. These two cards are showing you don't have to go down this path. Be strong by being able to not let people sort of push your buttons here. Pay attention to your emotions this month and stay grounded, because we have the Prince of Cups reverse and the 5 of Cups reverse, but the King of Pentacles upright. So when you stick with the facts, when you stick with what's important, you're able to temper the emotional challenges and to avoid potential pitfalls that could pull you off path. What's important for you this month is really to focus on the tasks at hand. And in doing so, you're going to be able to avoid what we were talking about here, which was potential health issues, arguments, and basically just feeling like the weight of the world is on your back. It's kind of like Atlas. This is Atlas after he's been dealing with all of that. Now, the other aspect of this, as we talked about, was to really pay attention to posture, to how you're sleeping, especially with the 9 of Swords. So if it's time to replace your bed or sheets or your mattress or pillows, anything like that, try to improve your posture and your sleep this month. It'll help you out. As we look at your expanded forecast, patience is necessary for any progress related to your health. So whether it's detoxification or improving your general health and well-being, let it have time. Don't rush it, knowing it might take for some of you a month or two before you see the results that you're looking for. Looking at wealth, really making sure that you have all the knowledge that you need and that you follow your first instinct. Don't overthink it. With relationships, listen and receive as much as possible. Share as well. Communicate. Let people know what you need. But it's more about the receiving this month than the giving. And if you don't receive what you need from a relationship, if the reciprocity is out of balance, this card is also really encouraging you to tune into that. Finally, putting more of this management card that we saw here with the Strength into your own court, deciding what do I want to work on? What do I need to be stronger with? And starting to develop those skills and starting to embrace that side of yourself. So that brings our monthly reading to a close, but I hope it gave you exactly what you needed to face all of the wonderful opportunities as well as the challenges that might be facing you this month. If you ever feel like you want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in your life, I'm definitely here for you. You can check out the first link below the video, and that will allow for you to kind of take a look at my rates and availability and see if that makes sense. If you just want to give back, I mentioned earlier that a donation as little as $1, whether it's one time or recurring, really makes a big difference in allowing me to set up the time for these readings and also keep all the materials and production going. So feel free to join me on Patreon or use my website. Again, I'll put information right here at the bottom of the video, and it's also that second link below. And if you'd like to just give back in a way that doesn't involve an exchange of money, you can like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. You can also join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as my newsletter. The third link below will cover off everything, including anything that I forgot to say there. And I appreciate that, and I really welcome you on all those platforms. Finally, and most importantly, I like to end every video with gratitude. And it's really gratitude for the work that you're doing on yourself. As I look at your spread of cards this month, there's a general sort of acknowledgement that you're stronger than maybe people in your life realize. And sometimes people that have that Strength card there in the deep past, it's like you're an unsung hero, if you will. And what I want you to do this month is to take some ownership of these great skills and wonderful sort of nurturing and maternal energy that you have, and cultivate that so that people do recognize what you have, because it's okay to shine, it's okay to be strong, and it's okay for people to see you as that. And looking between the Strength card and that King of Pentacles, I want you to also feel that you are deserving of and commanding that sort of those opportunities in your life, whether it's respect, stepping up sort of opportunity, love, money, whatever it is you're trying to create. Work on the idea that you are worthy of it, that you're ready to receive it. And we saw that receiving coming in the relationship area too with mediumship. So you can both receive the intuition that wants to come to you, but also receive the love that needs and wants to come into your life as well. Keep working on yourself, keep shining brightly. One by one, let's make this planet a brighter place and a better place to live in. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your journey. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.